Hello, friends. I'm Millie Dan Data Runner.
Communication with our source. We know that before performing any tricks related to natural phenomena, in quotes of course, well, regarding this strange rain, floods, what is happening in Saudi Arabia and here with us, our source from the Keeper's executors says that the Illuminati, these secret societies, announce their plans as if they are obligated to announce. Here are the wonders happening with water right now. The biggest flood. The largest flooding in 100 years here in the Iranburg region. In Saudi Arabia, rains have started. Deserts have turned into seas, and it is already spreading through Africa, flooding areas that have never experienced it before. Suddenly, for some reason, there are rains there. Clearly. Once again, something is not right here, and our source told us that they are using certain technologies. I talked about this in detail in a video. I will not repeat it now. In this video, I will talk about how I discovered yesterday exactly this statement from the Saudis about what is happening now. So we were informed. They told us. But of course it was not said directly. It was said through Illuminati circles and specifically through a musician. I, dear friends, am not highly educated, although I have been trying to gain more knowledge all my life. But I am quite versatile, and I particularly love music. I express myself with a foreign word, an Anglicism, a music lover, music that has accompanied me throughout my life. I, dear friends, am not highly educated, although I have been trying to gain as much knowledge as possible throughout my life. I am quite versatile, and I particularly love music. I express myself with a foreign word, an Anglicism, such as a music lover or a melomaniac in Russian. That music that has accompanied me throughout my life. Well, music is used for meditation. If you want to charge yourself with some kind of battle spirit, you listen to rap in the car, or just some good romantic music like Modern Talking. I even managed to take some joint photos with some very beloved artists of mine over the course of my life and posted them on Instagram, which is now banned in Russia. And I think these photos are also on VKontakte. In general, artificial intelligence that manages YouTube algorithms has helped me, based on my interests. Yesterday, it suggested that I watch new videos by David Guetta. I think among my subscribers, few will recognize this name, but among DJs, among those who are involved in music, especially in the trance genre, the name David Guetta is very well known. He was in the top 3, with the first and second places taken by the most popular DJs in the world. So he's not just some David from the back streets. He is a globally famous person who receives high fees for his performances and creates truly good and quality music. To put it in terms you may understand better, it's like Dieter Bohlen in 80s pop music. This, well, maybe it will be clearer for you if I say that it's like, for example, Dieter Bohlen in the pop music of the 1980s, 20th century. I like him too. I have his recordings in my car right now, I think. So I listen to him periodically. The music is good, and so, yesterday YouTube recommended me a video. I saved it and watched it yesterday. When I started watching, certain thoughts immediately flashed through my mind. So you understand, usually how DJs are shown. They jump somewhere in a stadium in front of a huge audience. Everyone jumps, claps, and so on. But here, no. This DJ David Guetta is in the middle of the desert. Behind him is a huge cube or rectangular mirrored structure. Nearby there are some small hills with lighting, and the show begins on this cube. They show different things. I think right now from this cube, some kind of artificial intelligence in the form of a demonic-looking woman will appear. Such videos we periodically publish on our channels. According to explanations from our sources, the keepers, fulfillers, This is an artificial intelligence. Omega. It materializes in the world in this way, shown to ordinary people what something unearthly might look like. And in anticipation of something like that, I watch, listen to music, a good quality show. Yes, in the desert. And pay attention. He performs. There are no spectators at all. So I understand that very wealthy Arabs can afford it. They paid for the number 1 or our number 2 DJ in the world rankings. They can afford to arrange such a performance. When the DJ performs only for them, or films the video in the area they control. So, if I understand correctly, very wealthy Arab individuals can afford to hire the number 1 or number 2 DJ in the world. They can afford to arrange such a performance where the DJ performs exclusively for them, or films a video in the area they control. Also, let's remember the video where I talked about the technologies that fell into the hands of the ancient clans living in the Salanovskaya Arab region. In that video, I mentioned that perhaps engineers tampered with something incorrectly, and now we will come back to this issue. Perhaps they tampered with it, just as they intended. So, David Guetta, one of the greatest DJs of our time, organizes a performance, as he calls it. And in the midst of this performance, I see this. My friends.
I'm sorry, but it seems like you haven't provided the text that needs to be translated. Please provide the text, and I will be happy to translate it for you.
In the middle of the desert, a famous DJ performs a musical composition against the backdrop of a huge water flow. All of this is, of course, computer graphics, but nevertheless. Furthermore, when the water started flowing in the video, the DJ played the song The Final Countdown by the Swedish band Europe. I immediately paused the video and began to study it carefully. So, experience David Guetta's epic performance of the monolith at al-Ula.a. In other words, the inspired David Guetta's epic performance called Monolith in the area known as al-Ula. I'm pronouncing it correctly. And what's most interesting, precisely in the accompanying video clip, called Preview, that is, an annotation to the video, David Guetta is shown against the backdrop of this cube, in which the water is bubbling. This video was published a month ago. So, a month ago in Saudi Arabia, in the area of Al-Ula, the final countdown was launched to transform this arid desert territory into a very watery space. And a month ago, they announced this through a top DJ, and even showed this water flow, and some kind of ray of light upwards on the cover of his video. Do you see what Al-Ula is? Al-Ula, pronounced correctly, is in Saudi Arabia. Al-Ula.portal, and Aziz in the northwestern part of Saudi Arabia, located approximately 150 kilometers southwest of Tabuk and 400 kilometers northwest of Medina. Al-Ula corresponds to biblical Dedan and was the capital of the Lihan Empire. Al-Ula corresponds to the biblical Dedan and was the capital of the Lihan Empire. I didn't delve into the depths of the Bible this time. It takes too much time. But here, the theme intersects with what our source tells us, that everything must correspond to what is written in the Bible. That is, in the geographical area mentioned in the Bible. The place is Aziz. Aziz is the place where it's cool, where there is water, in the midst of the super DJ desert. World famous. A performance is held, and we see such strange images that materialize after a month. How interesting, isn't it? They announced, told, to those who needed to know. They saw, heard, and understood everything. But for us ordinary people, what happened? There is programming through numbers and digits, through gematria, and this is a ready-made music file. They fill people's heads with it. Plus, since it's a performance, you also watch it with your own eyes. So, you have a file, loaded, ready, implanted in your head through this performance. Well, I don't think that many people, especially my viewers, watched this video. But worldwide, I'll tell you now, there are 2.6 million views. That is, a certain egregore formed almost an hour after watching this video, and people, without realizing the intention, gave a subconscious response to the matrix that a great flood had come. I also noticed the songs that played. For example, one song had these words: relax, don't do it. Relax, don't do it. That is, relax, don't do it. Well, you could say, relax and observe. In general, it's all about magic, illuminator and ritual, as our source said. And also, by the way, he gave us a hint about something. On this topic, I shared my thoughts. He responded to me about it. Definitely. Yes. Illuminator and ritual. They set themselves up as David. Understandable. Right. And behind him is this cube or rectangle. So big. I didn't even know how to properly name it. But our source gave it a name. Or rather, determined what it was. It's not just some panels for video playback. Turns out, it was the deep wave computer. That is, during the production of this video, this David Guetta performance, the deep wave computer was involved, which is quite possible. It also participated in calculating how much rainfall should be released. Well, since artificial intelligence doesn't care about us, it caused flooding not only in one specific region. You see, it reached Daremberg, and now our hill is flooded. All of this is rituals and Illuminati. Using technologies, classified technologies, partly declassified, which cause natural disasters for us here. A lot of people, specifically in our Daremberg region, have suffered. And if you remember what I started with, our source says they should ask for permission. Just like with that thing. In this localization they were doing there. Ours too. Signed to get permission. I want to say that we, the residents of Daremberg region, and Russians in general, I think we didn't give permission for something like this to be done here. Well, I want to say that we are residents of the Daremberg region, and Russians, in general, I think, did not give any permission for this kind of thing to be arranged here for us. One thing, if they miscalculated something there, and it happened. Yes, because of incompetence. And another thing, if there was indeed a calculation that we have at the moment, over there, among the Arabs, unprecedented events related to flooding are happening. Here in Russia, we have not seen flooding like this in 100 years. It makes you wonder, who will take responsibility for all of this? And of course, what I'm saying now is pure conspiracy theory. You'll say there's no evidence. But sorry, someone let it slip. We quoted an Arab, the Daily Mailing last week. It turns out David Guetta gave us a presentation before this new year a month ago. Just like with this madness of the 20 to 21 year. Sane people warned. Now what do we have? A large number of so-called side effects. In general. Here I believe that, of course, our special services need to investigate. Like they uncovered the Bill laboratory in Ukraine. And here, I think, there is room for action. But that's my conspiratorial view. And overall, if we are being blatantly hit with climate weapons, maybe it's worth remembering what Vladimir Wolfovich Zhirinovsky said in Baghdad. That we have weapons that our scientists can move by 1 degree at night. Well, then, of course, Zhirinovsky didn't admit he said that. It wasn't me. And again, all of this is conspiracy theory. Well, of course, Zhirinovsky didn't admit he was saying that. It wasn't me. And again, all this is conspiracy. But nevertheless, for some people, such conspiracy theories like tens of thousands of residents of the Orenburg region, Kurgan region, where there is still flooding. It somehow doesn't matter. People really suffered and really incurred material damage. They can't defeat us with ordinary weapons. Standard in Ukraine. They managed to stir up performances like this for us here. Such a scenario. Dear friends, keep that in mind. Draw conclusions, but remain observers. There will be a lot more of this kind of thing this year, as our source from the Keeper's Executors says. That's all for me for now. Thank you for watching. Yay?
Доброго вам бытия.